I'm here with David Sickmen of Hackensaw Boys. With 7 studio albums, over 20 years of performing, and dozens of countries visited, this Charlottesville native progressive bluegrass band has spread their music far and wide. David, thanks for chatting with us today.
Thank you, Josh. Good to see you.
Yeah, I hope you're doing well.
I am.
Let's get right to it. So, Hackensaw Boys have been cited as a bluegrass band with a punk rock spirit. How do you think those two influences work together?
Well, I think essentially it's music for the people, by the people, It's folk music. So in the end, it's anybody can play it, and it's not hard to learn. I mean, it's hard to master it, I guess, which I would not consider myself a master of any of it. But, I think there's just it only takes 3 chords, and both of those styles, there's millions of songs that are just banging on 3 chords and then putting some good words to it. So I think that's how they kind of tie in. The do-it-yourself angle.
It's always resonated with me with that DIY angle. I've seen so many bluegrass bands and so many punk bands jump in a van and get to it. You know what I mean? Whether it's making your merch or the music, it's always something that's shown through, I think, with both. And you guys definitely are a good example of that.
Well, thank you.
On a different note, though, Charisma was produced by Larry Campbell, which is huge. Like, he's worked with Bob Dylan. He's worked with B.B. King. What was that like?
Levon Helm. That was amazing. Larry made us a better band, for sure. And we went into the process very much with the directive that we were going to follow his directive and do what he said. So, he just really was like just inspirational. The way he worked in the studio, he was in the room with us when we recorded the songs, actually standing right beside me, with his eyes closed, quietly clapping his hands, and he was very much a part of it. Sometimes you work with somebody and they're in the control room, in a separate room, whereas Larry was literally right there, and it definitely was very inspiring. And he's just a super cool guy. And he was ill. He had this virus. I don't know if you heard about that.
No, I hadn't.
Yeah. He had the virus and was very sick, but he pulled through. It's been about a month or so ago, and he's apparently doing really well. But he was apparently very sick, so I was glad to hear that he's back on top of things.
That's great. I've always heard that a good producer is basically an extra member of the band. Not really mold you, but they're so ingrained in the process with you.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he was like. And he actually played on a couple of the tracks, some guitar and some mandolin. He helped me with one song in particular of mine called the Suite. And although I had most of the song there, it just kind of wasn't crystallized. And he helped me kind of get it to the crystal, to the hardened crystal state. And so it was cool. So I gave him a songwriting credit on that. So it's pretty awesome. I have a songwriting credit with Larry, and I share a song out there in the world. So that's something I'm real proud of too.
That's amazing. Some of the people watching this might not have seen you before, but we've actually had Hackensaw Boys 7 times at Bright Box. And it's
That's pretty awesome.
Every time. Yeah, you're definitely one of our favorites. Do you have any favorite memories of playing at Bright Box?
I have several. I mean, the crowds are always really fun at Bright Box. And, the New Year's Eve show we did was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that one. And, not any specific, memory, but more just about, never having a bad memory.
Yeah,
and always having a good time.
There's a thing of a feeling. I guess a lot of our staff has said when you guys get there, it's sort of like reuniting with a friend or catching up. There's an excitement for the show, but there's a familiarity because you're going to have a good time at a Hackensaw Boys show. That's
awesome. That makes me really that's humbling, and it makes me feel proud all at once to know that you guys feel that way, because you got the Bright Box has always treated us so well, and it's always been just such a fun experience. And like I say, the crowds have always been really just totally into it, and very supportive and loving, and I have felt a lot of great vibes in that room for sure.
Good to hear, man. So
Hmm.
Hackensaw Boys have been playing forever. You probably will be playing forever. There's no signs of stopping. So what's happening?
Say the last part.
What's on the pipeline? What are we looking for?
Oh, okay. Well, right now we have 10 songs that we recorded that we're trying to get them across the finish line. And to be honest, the virus kind of knocked the wind out of us, along with everybody else, including the Bright Box. So I'm kind of like a day at a time at this point, and trying not to like stress about it too much and beat myself up, because as we were saying earlier, as we chatted before the interview, that I'm just not in a hurry to jump back into the world, as far as like performing and stuff. So I really don't know what is going to happen. We have some shows booked for July, which I don't think will happen, but they might. We did have to cancel a European tour, and that was kind of sad. That's been worked for 2021, and I really don't know, Josh. I'm just kind of a day to day at this point. But I know that we're all like looking forward to getting together, and when it's safe to do so, I'm sure we'll just get right back into it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the bounce back's inevitable, but there's no set timeline. I know some artists are going to come out of this with 100 new songs, and some artists are going to come out of this with 0 new songs and just a lot of reflection. And I don't think there's a right answer. I think it's person to person, and that's what's beautiful. I think about music is everyone's going to handle this differently in terms of the inspiration or the woes of it.
Yeah, I agree. And historically, I guess I could call myself a songwriter. Historically, I've put a lot of pressure on myself in the past, and worried about like, am I being creative enough? Is my output, and that can really that can really kill art. The worry about making art can just kill it. And so, like I was saying, I've just kind of forgiven myself, and for just kind of feeling like I want to just take it easy for a minute, and of course with everything else going on in our society, and with the Black Lives Matter and the president, and just how crazy things are. It's almost like one has to like step back as much as you can while being engaged, but it's kind of a maddening time with the confusion of like the virus of racism, the virus of bad politics. All of those things are like, it's a lot on our plates, so to me, it's just more about family and friends, and working around my house, trying to like take care of my little world that I exist in on a day-to-day basis, keep an eye on the big world, jump in when I can, and then basically just like try to take it easy on myself and others, and be kind to myself, be kind to other people, and just like, again, like a day-to-day life. And I'm fortunate enough to be able to live that way, and it's the way I'm hoping to continue to live. So that's what it is for me.
Yeah, I think it's important. I mean, art isn't work, but in a lot of ways, it is. And I think it's important not to work 24/7, but when you do work, do good work. So like you said, you have to be in the right headspace, and you've got to do what's best for you, and then represent yourself or express yourself as best as you can when it's right.
Yeah, and that's such a tricky thing too, as far as like it's really easy to second guess yourself about everything, and so I think you're right. You just have to be honest with yourself and try your best to like do your best, and then the rest is like let the chips fall where they may, because what I have learned is that number one, the music industry is like super competitive, and being a 51-year-old man and being in a band that's been around a long time, you would think that would translate to like more exposure, but on some other level it's hard because there's so many new relevant artists out there, and so many new people that are making quality art, And so for me, it's kind of like, I'm just kind of, like I said, like kind of kicking back and waiting for my like elderly statesman cred to kick in, you know? And they're like, oh yeah, that he's been doing it forever, so we should give him another look, you know? So again, you know, it's always about like just trying to not overthink it and not over push, because you know, we've hustled as a band, had lots of members, people coming and going. You know, it's been a very beautiful and difficult experience, and to keep Hackensaw Boys going all these years has been a blessing. And then, you know, it's also been well, you know, curse is the wrong word, and burden is certainly the wrong word too. But there's, you know, it's been a lot of mental work to try to keep this project going. And I can say right now that we have really good members in the band, and everybody's excited to play. And I feel very positive about the band. So, you know, we're just going to go one day at a time, and then, you know, hopefully the nation can heal, and you know, and hopefully a lot of people will go out and vote. I think the election's only like 145 days away, which is crazy. It's like, think about that. It's like, it's, you know, it's coming.
It's important to stay active in all aspects, but if it's any consolation, you've definitely earned that cred with us. And
all right. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, David, you know, thanks for chatting with us. The next time I will see you, we'll be on stage, and I can't wait, man. It'll be good to see you.
Good to see you too, my friend. And we look forward to seeing you guys as well. And stay safe. We love you. Thank you.
We'll talk.
All right. Have a good one.
travel well. I took my love for Flora, my heaven to my hell. I could die tomorrow, Flora would not care. All them times together, she never knew I'd there. Die tomorrow, Flora would not care. All them times together, she never knew I was there. She never knew I was there. She never knew I was there.
Just like a friend welcomes you knowing was rolling, I followed her home. We sat on her stoop. She wanted to show me her rooftop chicken coop. Want me to change? Want me to change? Want me to change? Want me to change? Down with the old, and in with the old. It's good to be true, better to be bold. Do as I say, not as I say. You don't need to worry.